Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles, originally hailing from the Bronx, as our guest is also, but currently coming to you from a mile-high altitude of 5,280 feet. And while our guest is coming from the left coast, the West Coast, and sea level, Dr. Don Harte is a legend, I feel, in chiropractic, and one of my really wonderful people that I look up to, and he has proper attire for the current world circumstances. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Don Harte.
Thank you, Brother Dan. But how do you know I'm at sea level? I could be in a bunker.
You could be. That would
Yes.
be below sea level.
Yes.
And I do want to say that, is that your daily attire? Is it for podcasts or is it Halloween?
Well, it's always Halloween here in the fruit and nut state.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah. I at the beginning of this stupid pseudo plague, I used to wear this a lot. I'd go out and wear it. And, you got to make fun of this nonsense.
Well, yeah. You know, if you're not laughing with the world, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you're not laughing, you're drinking way too much.
Yes. So can we see the real Don Harte's face, or are you concerned about transmission of stuff through the internet?
Yes. Yeah, we'll call this Radio Free Colorado.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and I also want to say,
thank you for having me, Daniel.
We're glad to have you here, and I also want to say that it truly was a great experience to get to connect with you and talk chiropractic at Sherman College Lyceum. You and I are both big fans of Sherman College and their philosophy and vision and mission and objectives. Oh, yeah. Can you tell us about your experience at Sherman Lyceum?
It was, as always, it was chiropractic nirvana. I mean, out there in the regular world, I don't know how it is by you, but around here, it's a chiropractic wasteland. And, I really feel that, sometimes I'm like losing my mind. And, of course, I do keep monthly okay reasonably with On Purpose, which everybody should be on. But I mean, Lyceum, there is a side effect though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I just get so overjuiced up, I'm adjusting with so much more gusto. My arms, my hands hurt.
I understand.
But my heart is happy and fulfilled.
So now that we, after Lyceum, I really enjoy getting to catch up with you to discuss chiropractic over the years, your experiences in New York and going to NYCC, the former Columbia College. Can you share a little bit with the rest of the Mile High community how you found your way into the chiropractic world?
Okay. I wanted to be I was on the dark side. I wanted to be a medical doctor you got to be of a certain age to remember, but on TV, they used to be, and when we used to have 3 stations 100 years ago, there used to be these heroic medical TV shows, Dr. Kildare and Ben Casey. And I used to watch out on the floor as a little kid with a notebook, a Merck manual, and a medical dictionary. I was like a real medical nerd. And when I started pre-med in college, I got a job as a hospital orderly. I got respect in that job. I walked down the hall, I got respect because I was public enemy number 1. And hurt my back lifting a patient and went to the orthopedist. I actually wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. And he took some films and said, well, you got spondylolisthesis, and mine was particularly ugly. I got a grade 3 at L5 and a grade 2 at L3 and 4. And he gave me Darvons, which was the OxyContin of that day. And he said, nothing else I could do now. You'll be back when you're 30 or 40. I was 23 then. No, I was 17 then. And you'll be back for a total, not a 2-level like usual, but a total lumbar fusion.
Oh.
So, pre-med. Yes, doctor, absolutely. And it looks like I'm frozen again.
So then how did you find your way enrolling at NYCC? Was it Columbia or NYCC at that time?
It just became NYCC.
Okay.
Just moved out to the island from Manhattan. And so anyway, I took the guy's drugs, OD'd on it once. That was a whole lot of fun. And finished my pre-med, went to med school, home from the second year, and the chmuz hit the fan. I wasn't 30 or 40 like the man said. I was 23. I was bent over like an old man, excruciating pain, going down both legs. And at 23, something didn't work. You could use your imagination. So I was kind of suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking some folk guitar lessons. It was the 70s then. And my instructor said, why don't you try a chiropractor? I says, what are you kidding? This goddamn voodoo quacks. I'm a medical student. And he says, but I go. I says, yeah, but you're an artist. You're supposed to be a little strange. I'm frozen again.
So then what brought you to actually into a chiropractor's office?
Okay. Well, this as I was saying, this guitar instructor of mine says, why don't you try a chiropractor? What are you kidding? Those damn voodoo quacks. I'm a medical student. And he says, but I go. I says, yeah, but you're an artist. You're supposed to be a little strange. And he takes his wife, his kids. Your kids? What are you, nuts? And finally, he persuaded me. And I went the next day to this chiropractor in White Plains. Did the most thorough exam I ever had. Took the films. Showed me what was what. Put me on a table. I was so freaking scared. I almost jumped off the table and ran for my life. That's how I felt. Yeah.
Wow. What kind of adjustment was it, remembering back? Was it a upper cervical, diversified, Thompson?
Yeah, regular diversified adjustment, nothing fancy.
Uh-huh.
And got off the table, and I stood up straight and pain-free for the first time in months. It was a hallelujah moment.
Awesome. Outstanding.
And for those that worry about what some people call overutilization,
right.
I went 5 times a week for half a year.
Wow.
Another 4 times for another half a year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
The guy saved my life. So I quit med school. I had to retake some chemistry I did badly in college, and then I signed up for New York Chiropractic.
Yep.
Missed having Reggie by a year.
Yeah, he had just left. I know.
Yeah.
More time to when my my stepdad was there. So then, did you get to have the pleasure of learning chiropractic philosophy from the famous Frank DiGiacomo?
I did.
Tell us about him, because a lot of people don't remember this very important person in chiropractic history.
Yeah, he. I still remember the first class. He strode out on the stage, had a 3-piece suit on. He looked us all in the eye. It was like 150 of us. He looked us all in the eye. Wait until you could hear a pin drop, and he said, "The only thing man ever cured was a ham." And that was it. And the rest of it was an extrapolation on that.
Yep.
And I still have his book, Man's Greatest Gift to Man, Chiropractic.
Yeah, I think I have that right here.
All right, good man.
It is. Right.
Yeah.
I do. And here's the thing that's interesting. You ready? Here's what I have happened to be in it. You'll love this.
Talk at the library. Wow.
The library, Dr. Donald Epstein.
Okay.
Flyer that's still sitting there, the Brooklyn Public Library.
All right.
So that was my mom taking that to go to go to class, go to the
Outstanding.
yeah. What a small world, huh? So,
Oh yeah.
well, tell us more about that. What was it like getting introduced from your background to chiropractic philosophy?
It was a whole different thing. I mean, it was an interesting school, and because you had the straight guy, the Giacomo, and you had the mixer guy, Langelotti, and the highlight of every year was they had the debate between the two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, and it laid it out. It gave me a good thing, and it was good. And the real good part about it was that a lot of those guys that taught me went to jail for this.
Right. Right.
So, I so much more just have dislike, shall we say, to use a polite term, for chiropractors that have no respect for what we do.
Right. Right.
And think, oh, I can't charge cash money. I got to go to the insurance. Fair.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean, those guys, sometimes in those days, it was like a speakeasy. It's like you had to have the right knock on the door.
Right.
Right. And they got through it. And their patients, were outside the jail, free or doctor.
Right.
Right. Those were the heroes.
Yep, absolutely. The profession wouldn't exist without them.
Yeah. And generally, from what I heard, the bigger a mouth you had, the more you got arrested. And I'm a DNFT guy, so I was taught by old Van Rump, and he got arrested a lot. Once he said that once he was walking down Lexington Avenue in New York, and somebody said, "Good morning, doctor," and he nodded his head because he acknowledged that. They cuffed him and took him right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, here's that thing that what you just said, you had mentioned to me that your favorite quote was, "It is difficult to free fools from the chains that they revere," Voltaire. Now, the insurance game kind of feels like that. Chains that people revere and not realize that there's freedom.
Right. And to tell you the truth, you're right. You're absolutely right. I wasn't even thinking of that when I picked out that quote.
I know, but you were just saying it, so it made me think about that.
Okay. All right. What I was thinking about is not us between us, but I was thinking of us versus the horrific allopathic hegemony.
Right.
Which was always huge. And then this COVID BS. That's even a BS word, because every other virus is known by where it comes from.
Right.
So I call it WBF, Wuhan bat flu.
Right.
Therefore, there's only one man that could save us. Could you guess who?
Who?
Batman.
You and I are one of the few people that remember the original series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not old enough to remember Superman, which I do.
No, not the original series. I saw it in reruns, but
yeah.
Well, George Reeves. So then, this is an interesting thing. Our profession has sadly become more allopathic. Not our principles, not our foundation, but the profession as a whole.
Meaning the cartel.
Yeah. And if there's a friend of mine said this quote, and I love it. I also dislike it at the same time, that apathy leads to allopathy in chiropractic. Liam Schubal.
Disgustingly accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, Liam said that? Okay.
Yeah, Liam said that. And I quote him often because it's true that the apathy that we've seen over the decades, it's not started now, it started way back when, has led us down that path. Sadly.
Yeah. And the pressures are, the pressures were enough before, but now they're insane. I mean, if you don't hold on to the principle like a rock, you're gone, we're gone, everybody's gone.
Right.
I've always had a thing fighting forced vaccination. And I know some in the profession think, well, we should just talk chiropractic.
Right.
But that is the ultimate mental and physical intrusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because what that says is that you got, speaking to the world, the subluxated masses as a whole, you got nothing inside, nothing. You have no immune system. You have no capacity to heal. You need our magic holy water or you're going to die.
Right.
And if we just let that pass and let them go on, and I get nauseated when I hear that a chiropractor gets the shot.
Right. Yeah.
If we let this pass, it will all be gone.
Right.
And I should interject two good responses if somebody asks if you're vaccinated.
Yep. What's that?
Well, there's the California woke response. I identify as vaccinated.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Or you could say, I just got the first shot. I'm getting the second as soon as the waitress comes back.
That's great. So with that, how do we move our profession more towards its principles away from allopathy?
That's
a
a tough
question.
one.
Oh, I know. I don't think there's a quick answer.
No. I think first off, we have so much resources, money, time, experience. I really think we should abandon totally our alma maters if they don't live up to chiropractic. As an example, the last time I got a donation call from New York Chiropractic, which was about 15, 16 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I think that man is probably still out in psychiatric disability.
Oh, wow.
I never got a call again.
Okay.
You can't just be loyal to some. Yeah, you can't just be loyal to something or some institution or someone that isn't loyal to what we stand for what we are. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to send my money to Sherman.
Right.
There was another chiropractic college kind of local to me, which was okay and then lost its way, and I just don't send them money anymore.
Right.
That's that. I mean, you got to stand for what you stand for and step away from what you don't stand for.
Well, and that comes to telling the truth and no matter what.
Exactly. Yep.
And we've seen many times in history when people didn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly. In many different scenarios over the centuries.
That's true. That's true.
Lots of scenarios. And this is the health of humanity.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. And I mean, I could see from this damn gene therapy. I mean, there's going to be weird neurological stuff. I could see waves of cancer in 2-3 years that is just going to overwhelm the system. And I think that's what they want. Yeah.
I understand. And
if we don't stand up amidst this storm, we've failed not only ourselves, but we failed humanity.
Yep. I
mean, who else is talking?
Not many, only select few, and they're trying to be silenced very frequently.
Yeah.
So what are there any actions that you're recommending people to do around all of that?
Well, I think first off, you got to keep yourself right, which means going to good chiropractic things, going to Lyceum, go to Mile High, going to New Beginnings. I think listening to On Purpose every month is good. I put out a e-zine blog to chiropractors called Harte of Chiropractic. It's a great price. It's free. Well, and I know my Jewish brethren are out there saying, okay, it's free. I'll take 10.
Well, I was about to say something along those lines.
Yeah. And that's how we got the 10 Commandments, you see. So just email me and I'll put you on the list.
And what's that
And
email so we can tell people?
it is Harte of Chiropractic, spelled like my name, HARTE of chiropractic @gmail.com.
I'm just writing that down so we can put that in the notes with this. There we go. Good. And so tell us about practice. You've practiced how many years now?
40 years.
40 years in practice. I mean, you're making me feel youthful. I'm 25 years in practice. And I was feeling old, so I got
Okay.
So what are some really important things that you've learned serving people? Because it's so funny when you talk to people, they think, well, if I memorize the green books, or if I learn my particular technique, approach, analysis package, then I'll just thrive in practice. And it takes a lot more to practice than memorizing the 33 principles and being good at Chicago. So what are some things, what are some things, or whatever approach person is using, what are some things that you've learned to help impact more lives over those years?
What I've learned is, well, first and foremost, get your principles right, because New York Chiropractic then, well, now it's a toilet, but then it's not even New York Chiropractic anymore. It's Northeastern School of something, of crap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But get your principles right. It took me a while. I was kind of drifting in a little bit. And I got into the insurance stuff in the 80s. And I even got into chiro legal stuff, and my youthful idiocy. I wanted to prove chiropractic to the courts and the insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to get right philosophically. You need to get right in yourself, in facts of your own inner strength, taking care of yourself. I found that my 50 odd years in and out of martial arts helped me a lot, as far as focus, as far as physical abilities, as far as mental, keeping it right. And you need to be able to tell the truth. Not just, with a report of findings, it's not just reciting the facts. It's the importance. It's the heart of it. And in fact, that is going to be my next Harte of Chiropractic e-zine, because we talk about the adjustment with that something extra. The topic of the next one, which will be out in a few days, so get me your emails right away, will be the report of findings with that something extra.
That's a really important thing. Hey, let's talk about that, because I just did a post about that just yesterday.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, about what makes it the adjustment with that extra something. What can you share about that?
The adjustment?
Yeah, what about making it the adjustment with that extra something?
Okay. I think the critical thing, I wish I could remember who said it. Might have been Sigafus, maybe. Said that or it could have been DeSantos. He said that at the instant of the adjustment, at that very instant, there is only you, the practice member, and God. That's it. Which, if you have an adjustatorium with all kinds of stuff going on, is a bit of a challenge, but you could do it.
Yep.
There is just nothing else in that instant, and it becomes something extra.
Right. That's important.
Yeah.
And you talked about being a DNFT guy.
Yeah.
Not many people, sadly, even know who Vamp Rup was, or much about DNFT. There's not as much access to it was in the past. What are some of the brilliant principles in his work and in DNFT?
Okay, there was the way I see it, there was good, there was bad. Let's get rid of the bad first. He wasn't, I love the man. He wasn't very philosophical. He was more into like a pain thing. Okay. But the communication with innate is like a very special thing with DNFT. To find exactly where the subluxation is, exactly what direction, and the listing is very, very specific. And you do it and you make sure it's done right. You always check your work. And also, this is something that might upset some people. You know, I do go beyond the spine to the extremities. That was fine by DD, not by BJ. And I think that's really, really important. If somebody has a badly subluxated knee or hip or shoulder, it's going to affect the spine. It's going to affect the nervous system. If somebody's hobbling around, how could they function? How could that not affect the nervous system?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I use his story, or my experience with him, I should say. I do get a lot of older people in my practice. And a lot of older people, they kind of give up. I'm getting old, nothing you could do. It's really not worth the time and the money. And I tell them that I have two chiropractic mentors I want to tell you about. One, Dr. Reggie Gold, who said life should be like a candle. It should burn bright at the end, flicker a couple times, and boom. And then Dr. Van Rumpen, I have his picture on my wall, which I'm very, very proud of. That was a big deal to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him that he lived in practice till 97 years old.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, he did 4-day seminars for us from 8 a.m. to midnight, running around checking people.
Really?
But wait, there's more. At midnight, he took the elite few of us out drinking with him. And he always drank Johnny Walker Red, and he would anoint us with the holy water.
Wow.
God, I miss that man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where and I mean, people have lost that in chiropractic, not the drinking till midnight, after midnight, but they've lost that aspect of that the art of the adjustment isn't focused on a diversified force, you know.
Specific.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, we're manipulating.
Right.
I tell people I don't manipulate, my account manipulates. I adjust.
That's the Jewish answer.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and then how do people bring that? How do you inspire people to bring that more into the art today? What I'm referring to is that innate does the adjustment as compared to manipulation.
Yeah. I think go to your bookshelves. Dust off the basic sciences. Dust off Gray's Anatomy. And if you have the stupid American edition, spend a few bucks and get the British edition, which is big and fat and it's phenomenal. And you look at this, or the old book by that Swedish photographer, Leonard Nielsen, Behold Man, which is on my coffee table. And you look at this and you could see and you could feel the majesty of it all. And how could you think it's just clunking a bone where the practice member hurts?
Right.
And you could think back to, I mean, we've all had incredible things happen in our practice, even when you're in clinic. And if you think back at that, you know, instead of the day-to-day frustration, Joe Felicia said, use your daily frustrations as meat to focus your passion, to fuel your passion, instead of weighing you down.
Another chiropractic, I guess we could say legend would probably be appropriate, that I'm wondering if you probably had interaction with and influenced you, most likely because of the location of where you went to school, I'm assuming, Dr. Pasquale.
Yes. Not much, though. Just a little bit. I was at his office once and it was magical.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was one of those things I kind of, you know, kicked myself for not doing more of.
Okay.
because I was, when I was there in New York Chiropractic, I was there, but I wasn't altogether there.
Right.
And I've flubbed around some years and went through some hard times. And it wasn't until 1996. I started practice in 81. It wasn't until 1996, and I was dead broke. And Joe Felicia came to town.
Ah.
Yeah. And I had done his stuff I still had his flip charts from school.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to town, which is good because I didn't have the money to go to any other town. And there it was again. And I got alive again, chiropractically, stopped all the insurance crap and got back to business.
Mm-hmm.
Proper business.
And another thing, you told me while we were talking at Sherman College, kind of bring this full circle, about going to philosophy nights at my stepdad's office, my dad's office.
That's right.
Tell me about that. What was that experience like? Not too many people
It was
talking about that, actually.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. The stories and the talk, and at the time, this was before network. He was doing Pierce Stillwagon.
Right. Yep.
Which for those who don't know, it does involve upper cervical as well.
Yep. Thomas Whitehorn.
Yeah. He was one of my teachers.
Yep.
Yeah. And from your stepdad, looking at I never saw hands move so fast in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience to behold.
People have told me that over and over again about his back in the day toggle.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It was something.
What would you like to see for chiropractic in the coming decades?
I would like to see Sherman expand tenfold.
That'd be stellar.
Yeah. I'd like to see the two schools that are so-so get back into the fold. And the ones that are real bad, that have even abandoned chiropractic in their name, which is probably for the best, I'd love to see them go bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big question, Dan.
I only ask the big questions.
But I'm a little guy. I don't know.
All right. Well, then
I have a big mouth.
Let's end on a really important question. You ready?
Okay.
Favorite restaurant in New York?
Favorite restaurant in New York?
Of all time?
White Castle?
Really?
I remember once I took my fancy ass sister-in-law to one in Yonkers, really scuzzy neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
It had the bulletproof glass and everything.
Yep.
And I had a chocolate shake. I says, you want to see miracle? Watch this. I took the chocolate shake and turned it upside down and it stayed in the thing.
There you go. There you go. Yo,
Or,
what about Lundy's? You remember Lundy's?
I don't know Lundy's.
You don't remember Lundy's from Brooklyn?
No.
Today. Oh, we'll have to talk.
I don't know Lundy's.
We'll have to talk about next time we're at Sherman Lyceum or when you're at Mile High.
Okay. But I should say that with White Castle, those in the know that are truly cultured refer to it as Chateau Blanche.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I remember that as a kid growing up. Well, I have.
Of course, the neighborhood pizza joints.
Yeah.
You can't beat them. The last time I was in New York, I went on a pizza frenzy.
Uh-huh.
I was being interviewed by Pat and Chris for On Purpose.
Okay.
And, I got to Jersey and, I knew I should go to sleep because it was early morning, but I felt this magnet. And I just got in the car and I went across the GW Bridge and I went to the Village and I picked up this slice and the garlic steam was dripping up and the oil was dripping into my sleeve. It was heaven.
And which place was this?
This was on 7th Avenue, right next to the movie theater that always had Rocky Horror Show.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And then I ran to this place and that place, and at 1 a.m. I ended up at Vincenzo's Clam House in Little Italy. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you're now making me want to hop on a plane to New York. So
Yeah.
And again, I want to, for everybody who's listening, truly, anytime you can, I would say for sure, pick up your subscription at the great rate that it is. It's a great deal for Dr. John Hart's Easian, so that you can be in the know, and also to fuel your chiropractic soul. Truly, people, we have to focus and turn the ship around. I care less about how pure a person's practice is, and care more about what direction it's facing. So we got
well said. Good. Yeah.
More towards, away from the allopathic point of view and more towards the chiropractic principle point of view. And the more you're facing that direction, the more you're going to move your practice and your life towards those principles. And our profession is sadly going in the wrong direction in many, many ways. So
you could say that the allopathic way is the psychopathic way.
You could say that. And
Yeah.
It's really about, turning the direction of the ship. So make sure you're navigating in the right direction, not
Right.
how close you are to the North Pole, So,
Sure. I mean, I've been lost.
hey, it's part of everybody's journey, and everything from their, business to their relationship to chiropractic to
Sure.
raising kids,
What,
So,
what did BJ call it? Slipping and checking.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So we look forward to the feedback from this episode. I know people are love it, and make sure you really connect more with Don Harte. Certainly go to Lyceum, certainly go to Mile High, and keep changing spines and lives and minds with chiropractic, because that's what we do all day: change spines, lives, and minds. Because
Absolutely.
if not us, who? Right? So
That's right.
Yep. So, and we look forward to seeing people on Higher Ground in June 2nd to 5th, 2022. It will be the highest chiropractic event on the planet. So we will see you all there. Thank you, Dr. Don Harte, for your years of service.
Thank you, brother, Dr. Dan. This was fabulous. Appreciate it.